Welcome back to Fear and Beer, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. Join us as we venture year-round into the fog.
Make sure you give us a like and a follow on your podcast platform of choice. Also, be sure to check out our YouTube page where we upload every episode in its video format, and maybe a few other surprises as well.
Make sure you're following us on social media to keep up to date with our newest haunted content.
I'm Nick.
I'm Seamus.
I'm Jamie.
Well, I don't know about all you. It feels like we stepped into a time machine because there's no way HHN season is already over. Done. Kaputs. 2 months and it's gone like that. We talk about it year round and we have two measly months to soak it all in. Not fair. Doesn't seem right to me. I'm going to lead the charge. We need to start extending this thing into November and July. We need more HHN.
Screw it. Just all year round.
Yeah.
Never stop.
Yeah. Gives us plenty to talk about, that's for sure. But yes, no, obviously the season is over. The fog has settled. The lights have dimmed. And we're just about around the corner towards 35. But there's still some stuff that needs to be discussed about 34. And that's where tonight and next week sort of play into things. This is going to be our overall thoughts on the event as a whole, as well as our final rankings for houses and scare zones / street experiences. We don't really need to talk about the shows in a ranking format. There's 2 shows, so we'll just discuss them quickly and kind of give our experiences on everything throughout the whole event. So I think before we get into any discussions, I have a special beer. This special beer was actually gifted to us from our friend Rachel. So this one made the trip down from Virginia for us. This is Firefly Nights. This is from, I got to look it all up. This is 3 Notched Brewing. It is a American Pale Ale, 5.2%. And this is brewed right in Charlottesville, Virginia. This is a summer ale with sweet, refreshing, and floral with additions of honeysuckle. So it seems like very much a summer-based beer. And Seamus, not to spoil some of your gifts, but you too are receiving beers from Rachel. They're in the guest room right now. I don't know if you got the same ones as me. I didn't go
so
snooping,
excited.
But I know you got some beers. And not only do I have the beers from Rachel, I'm going to pour it, Seamus, another spoiler, into my customized Fear and Beer pint glass.
Look at you.
And Rachel, I'm sure you're listening to this on your drive home to Virginia. You definitely outdid yourself. You did not need to do all this. We appreciate it, but you did not need to do all of this. And that kind of goes into sort of one of my first talking points, I guess. Before we kind of dissect the event, I did just want to say thank you to everybody that made this event special to us this year. Obviously, we've kind of continuously grown year after year after year. And this was a big one. We this isn't to like toot our own horn or anything like this, but like we got recognized a lot more. Our names are getting out there. Our faces are getting out there more. So it's easier to pick us out, especially when I decide to bleach my hair before the event. That definitely sticks out. But all of those interactions just make the event that much better. I can't even name everybody or everything that was done or gifted or what have you, but like we had Kale, who opening weekend gifted us this little crocheted Art the Clown. And then Seamus, you also have another treat. We have the crocheted Vault Boy coming your way, which pretty much stands at like a foot tall. It's gigantic.
I can't wait.
All the way through Chris, who so generously closing night was like, let's go do houses. I was like, you have Express. He's like, they sell after 11 Express. And he just bought me and Jamie after 11 Express. Like, what a way to cap off the season. Like, it's just, the generosity is just...
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Insane. And I know I'm missing a lot. I have a whole season worth of these thanks to everybody, but it's just, it goes out there to everyone. Lydia, who sends us beer money, and Alex, who sends us beer money on weekends and birthdays, and I'm trying to scramble here to mash 2 months of stuff out and make sure I don't miss people, but I know I'm going to miss people. Sarah Watercolor knows on Instagram. I'm bad with the names, but did these cute little Jamie. She gave you like a little
Freddie.
micro Fosbear, painting.
A magnet.
And-
It's so cute.
Magnet, yeah.
It's a little
And
Freddie
she also
magnet.
did she also did the dogs as Art and Jason earlier this
So
year.
cute.
And
And Sarah's
the list
Instagram
goes on
is
and on.
Wet Nose Watercolors.
Wet Nose Watercolors,
Yes.
yes. So go follow her on Instagram. But I mean, that's just kind of my piece. I don't know if you guys want to chime in on your interactions or anything that might stand out to you, but I know I was just overwhelmed by it all season.
Yeah, I'm not humble. That's pretty awesome. It is pretty. Sorry, Jamie, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
like that,
you go
but-
ahead because I had to get my thoughts collected anyway. So you go first. That's
No,
perfect.
yeah. I mean, I think no. I don't think you can say it much better than that. It was a it was a different feeling this year, this season. I don't think it was a lot more people recognized us. And again, I mean, I'm not saying that like, I walk around going, oh, look at that. Everybody knows who I am. Like, I don't really, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really.
No. I'm not here for
do.
autographs. No.
Yeah, I don't, I mean, I'm trying to say this without making it sound callous, but like, I don't care so much that happens, but I also care because it shows that, people give a shit. I've been saying this for a couple of years now. People actually care about what we think or what we say. Obviously we don't always agree on everything. I'll be the first to admit that. But I think it's cool that people still, they recognize us enough and like us enough to be like, hey, I know you. I mean, the amount of times that we got just a random fear bear from like across, from across the park, like that to me is still hard. It's hard to believe that actually happens, but it does. It's weird. I think it's great. So I'm glad we have a core group of fans and a core group of listeners who truly do care enough about the event, enough about what we think to make a point to say hi. So that's really cool. And I mean, of course, all the gifts and shit people give us, like that's more than enough. Like you don't have to go out of your way to do that. Please don't feel like you have to.
No, because you guys are really trying to outdo me here. Because I love giving gifts, and I feel awkward accepting gifts. Just like on Christmas, when it's time to open presents, I'm like, "Oh, it's my turn. You guys should go and do something else while I open this one."
I'm gonna go in the corner.
Yeah, I'm gonna just open this over here. No, but it is absolutely crazy to me. I say that all the time, and it probably sounds redundant, but it is. And Nick, like you said, I mean, Rachel, you were absolutely the sweetest human being ever. All the goodies you got for us. Chris, your generosity blows my mind and makes me sick to my stomach. And that was very kind of you on closing night to do that for us. And we both very much appreciate it. Kale, my little, but I still have my crappy webcam set up on my laptop, so I can't show it. But I have the crochet art set up on my shelf over here with all my other Art the Clown trinkets and Terrifier stuff. And this season has just been overwhelmingly wholesome. Is a good way to put it. We got to see a lot of people. We got to hang out with a lot of people. We got to meet people that we've been friends with but haven't gotten to meet in person. It was just an all-around very heartwarming season.
Yeah, couldn't stamp my put my stamp of approval on that more. And the people you get to meet and chat with and talk with, we gotten to chat with Mike and Ramon a bunch in the streets. We're kind of at that face-to-face level, hanging out with all the toll road people every night, Scott and Dwayne and Amanda and everybody. It's just such a fun little tight-knit community. And then all of our friends that are creators as well. Spent a lot of nights with them. It's just such a nice feeling that it seems to be a very positive, fun community, and we've built that around us. I think we've done a good job at doing that. I know there are instances, I don't really go on Twitter. I feel like that's where all the instances are. But I feel like compared to like a handful of years ago, I've seen more positivity, which is nice. It seems like some of that negative stuff might have kind of worked its way out, or maybe we just did a good enough job of surrounding ourselves by not that group or those people or what have you. We attract that nice, fun, let's just have a good time community. So it's very fitting that it just was an overwhelmingly positive year on all accounts. You know,
Yeah,
like
I think
Seamus
it says a lot about this community. I mean, there are a lot of fandoms out there that are incredibly toxic, and
said.
I don't think. I mean, obviously, like everything, it has its moments. There
Yeah.
are people and times that things will be said, and it will come off as you know out there and toxic and not cool. But I think we do a pretty good job of enough of policing ourselves, and I think that we're relatively open. I don't think the three of us ever come off as standoffish. I hope I don't.
Yeah.
I know people don't see me as much just because my time doesn't work quite the same way, but um, every time I've had an interaction with anybody, I think it's been overly positive, and I think it's really cool. So yeah, I mean, this goes to everyone that said hi to us, anyone that stopped and made a point to get a picture with us, or just stop and shoot the shit with us for a few minutes. I think you may not realize how much it means to us, but it means a lot to us because it makes me feel like I've said this before. It makes me feel like all the times that I struggle with setting this shit up, getting ready to do it, having to spend an hour and a half talking about something, even if I love talking about it with my friends, it's still, there are times where I'm just like, why do I keep going? And you people, that's a terrible way to say that. All of you in the in the community that listen to us, you make it worth it. You make every moment that I need to, just power through. You definitely give me a reason to want to keep doing it. Because I don't feel like I'm just talking to the wall. I feel like people are
Yeah,
actually
right.
out there like listening to us.
5
I'm
years
still
later,
blown-
look at us.
Yeah, I mean, not to point out anybody in particular, but I still think it's like it blows my mind that we've got fans that listen to us from overseas in Europe and other places, South America. Like there's people
Shout
that
out
listen to
Marco,
us.
Germany, baby.
Yeah, Marco in Germany. Our friends, the tattoo tourists out of the UK. I mean,
UK,
just
yeah.
the fact that we have people that live in other parts of the world that isn't just Florida, that actually actively listen to us and want to meet us, and that, I don't know, to me, I'm still blown away by that. Like I don't believe it's real.
Yeah, it's fantasy world a little bit. It really does feel like that at times. Feels like almost like imposter syndrome sometimes though too, because I'm like,
Definitely
not
because
that,
as far
I
as
swear.
I'm concerned,
I'm a dude,
I'm just
a guy.
yeah, I'm just Joe Blow in his fucking living room or his office recording. I'm a 9-to-5er, guys. Like I work a regular 9 to 5. Like this is just for fun. I don't do this for money. I don't do this for recognition. I don't do this for anything other than the fact that I just enjoy it. It's just the one thing of the year outside of seeing my kids open gifts on Christmas. Like outside of that, that's the one thing I like doing in the year. Like it's 2 months where I can just be myself. And I definitely, unfortunately, came up in a generation where it didn't feel like you could just be yourself in a lot of ways. Now I think today has gotten a lot better, but this is just one of those things that I can let loose and just be me. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I think that's a good enough point to stop and migrate
Not
into...
to make everybody cry.
No, that was
but
very nice, Seamus.
I'm sappy. Okay, I've got enough best man speeches in me to last me a lifetime.
Go outside, nerd.
As I'm here
outside,
messing with
nerd.
my
Go
new
outside,
fidget
nerd.
toy, aka my new snow globe
For
that I got
anybody that's
for $4.
Shout
That's
out
awesome.
Aaron.
Yes.
All right, so I guess overall thoughts, right? It's hard to kind of encapsulate everything into just one grouping, but overall thoughts, like I have a couple bullet points of like, did the full immersion pan out? Where does this compare to you? Like out of the past couple of years, I'd say maybe 30 and on. Jamie, what are your thoughts like overall comparing this event to past events?
Comparably, I said this to a friend the other day, but I think this is probably my favorite event that we've had since 29, when we had House of Thousand Corpses, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in my little Instagram dump post that I made the other day too, I even said that this year just felt like different than these last couple of years. It brought back that essence of HHN. And I know we've talked about that before, but it's true. And I even said there was just nights where I didn't, and I feel like this season I actually went a lot more than I did last year, and these last couple times that I've had the frequent fear pass, and just those times that I was tired and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll just go for a couple hours, because just even like being there, not having to do houses or anything, and just like walking around and getting a giant cheese stick and getting a high noon or whatever may tickle your fancy, it was just nice. And the scare zones felt more immersive. It just felt like the old event was slowly but surely coming back and back into my heart, which it's always been there, but they really gave it to me this year, honestly. I know you guys all know with the IPs and houses and everything we got, just collectively, I felt like everything just really shined.
Mhm. Yeah. Seamus.
Yeah, I don't think I have as much of a I've said this for 5 years now, or 6 years, how long we've been doing this, but I don't think I have as much of a background in it to really say that it was, the best ever. For me, it is. I mean, I think for me, it's the best year I've ever been. And I've only been going since 2019, though. So, like 2019, like Jamie said, I think is a pretty memorable or fond memory. Um, but really, I mean, my scope of reference, or whatever frame of reference for the event, really hasn't been very much. And and for the most part, it's been COVID and post COVID. So, like, in all honesty, if this is what they used to be like, I'm jealous I never went, because this year was incredible. It was the best year I've ever been to. I don't think there's really any discussion from me on outside of like that. I just kind of wish that I had done it more. But yeah, I think this year is just crazy. Like, it was just crazy good. There was um yeah, between the houses, the scare zones, the food options, I think it was probably the best year I've ever been to. So
Yeah, I think it was a little too
I'm
good.
just kind of rambling, but
I think it was a little too good because, especially for the houses, like I feel like this year out of the most, I went the most, and I feel like I didn't do as much. I feel like I was always just wanting to get house runs in because I had so much fun in the houses. There's times where I bring my camera to go take pictures. I really didn't do that. I did that once this year, and I still haven't edited them pictures. But like I feel like I was always on the go, on the go, on the go because everything was so good and I wanted to soak up as much as I could, versus other years where it's almost like, if 3 or 4 of the houses are kind of meh for me, like then I go do other stuff. So like I feel like I obviously had the opportunity to do so. I just chose not to, but it just speaks volumes of how good overall it was. I was looking back at a couple past years. Like I think it was obviously significantly better than last year. 32 had like really good originals, but the IPs were pretty lacking. So like it's better than that. 31 is up there. I enjoyed those houses. The feeling of 30, I think, is a little amplified because of that extra year off of COVID. It was like this, like we had to wait 2 years for this
Yeah,
event. Like it felt different.
it was, we're back. We're finally back. You got
Yeah, like
that
that's
feeling.
the feeling that I think has to be taken out of consideration because it's not something that can happen every year, hopefully.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Christ.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, 29, like Jamie has said, that was a peak year. And that was one of the years that that was like my second year that I started going like regularly. Versus, 28, I got the frequent fear because I was living down here, but it was still very early. So I didn't go a lot. Like I maybe went less than 10 times. But yeah, I mean, this is up there for me for sure. I mean, like you said, Seamus, I mean, encapsulating everything, the zones, the shows, the houses, the food options, the street experiences, Dead Coconut Club. You have to take that into consideration too. It's just, I think, definitively one of the better years, at least in the last 5. I think it needs some time to sit before anybody. And I don't think I'm allowed to have this discussion either because, like, I don't have, as like Seamus said, a large history of the early days or those mid-teens or whatever. So I don't think I'm the appropriate person to rank it all time. I'll leave that to other people. But I think it might be in the discussion. But again, I think it has to sit before you have that discussion a little bit. But overall, just it does feel like we are back to a specific style and formula that works. and I hope they continue this way. I don't know if that's who is in charge or because other people are kind of stepping their game up or whatever, but I think it's definitely in the discussion. So I guess before we do like food and houses and stuff like that, we do have to talk about the tribute store a little bit, at least give our thoughts on it. This is the 10th year that the tribute store was a thing. It was kind of put up that this was going to be a extravagant celebration of the tribute store. Unfortunately, there was location issues. I think in part to them anticipating the Mummy line being significantly higher due to Rip Ride being torn down. So they opted to not put the store there, use that for extended queue space for the roller coaster if it got to that weight. I don't think it ever did. I think they would have been safe putting it there. But alas, we ended up putting it in the arcade / Sahara Traders, dump off from the Mummy. I wasn't a fan. I thought it was a terrible location pick. I was very nervous about it when it was finally announced that that's where it was. I didn't think that there would be space to really pull off the tricks that they are used to pulling off in the tribute store. I feel like those are mini mazes in themselves where like there's different rooms that are decorated and have a certain vibe to it, whether it's a piece of original or a piece of IP. It does feel like rooms are sort of divided by that, and it's a fun experience to walk through. This tribute store felt like a store, and that's fine, I guess, but it's definitely not to the standards of any of the past tribute stores, in my opinion. I don't blame really anybody except the person that made the ultimate decision to force the creative's hand and put it in that location, because there really is only so much you can do in there. You could have the best art and decor team in the world, but guess what they can't do? They can't expand. They can only decorate. So those are my thoughts. I don't know if everybody else is all on the same mindset, but
Yeah, I feel
Yeah, I
like I
don't think.
spent. Go ahead, Seamus. Sorry.
No, I don't think there's gonna be much disagreement here. I went in the store twice, didn't buy anything from it. I didn't want to spend any time in there because there was so many other things to do. And I don't think that it all has to do with the fact of where it was located, but it definitely struggled this year from a theming standpoint. I mean, half the reason you go in the tribute store is to see it all done up, in the theme that they picked that season. Obviously it's still a store. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going in to buy stuff, but I just feel like not having a themed tribute store this year, I mean, it didn't hurt the event, but at the same time, it was one of the few things it felt like that was kind of lacking on.
I felt like I kind of caught myself shopping in the Five and Dime more than I did in the tribute store
Yeah.
this year. I feel like I was kind of hanging out in there a little bit more. But yeah, I usually really, really like the tribute stores. And as someone who likes to bop around and sometimes just window shop pretty frequently, even though I've seen everything multiple times, still, you never know. I didn't really do that this much this year at all. I feel like it was the only time I would walk in there is through the main like arcade entrance. I would kind of forget half the time that the other little side corner over there by the Mummy was even part of the tribute store. It just felt like it didn't flow as well as it could have. It was a lot of traffic jams kind of going into that meeting point right there where the two stores connect. And I was really sad too because the arcade would have made for really cool photo ops for like Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. And I was like, dang, I really can't believe they got all this stuff out of here and just moved it out. But I mean, other than that, I don't know if they still, I could be wrong. They might still have the team member and annual pass holder store over in Hollywood on that strip, and that's why they didn't put it there. But I just thought it was a weird choice. Nick, I didn't realize that when you had said they had used it for like they didn't want to use it for the extended Mummy queue or whatever. They definitely never used it, I don't think. So that kind of sucks, and they definitely could have put it there and it would have been fine. Because I feel like that adds to why that end of the scare zone was kind of a little bit lacking as well, that people weren't really hanging out over there as much because usually it's the entrance and exit right there for the tribute store.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. And then like merch as a whole, I don't know if I can really speak on the merch as a whole really, because I didn't really buy much this year.
I didn't either.
neither.
Nothing necessarily caught my eye. We did
Did
get
get
the little
this.
Five Nights at Freddy's red cups, so that was
Yes.
cool.
That was the one thing I
Um,
wanted.
But like I am past that point now. I mean, I always buy the house shirt. So I did scoop that up. But I also like for shirts and stuff like that. My closet is maxed out on black shirts. I'm sorry. Like I just don't need another shirt of an IP that I'm probably never gonna wear. The Insidious tie-dye shirt that I got last year that I was like, oh, you know what? It's not black. It's pretty cool. I'll probably wear it. I've worn it once since last year. I just
You never
don't
wear it.
I never wear it. And I always buy them. And I finally put my foot down a little bit this year. I was like, nope, unless it's like I know for sure I'm going to wear it or use it. I'm going to wait until the 50 to 75% offs, and then that came and went, and I bought a couple things that I might keep, but I did go shopping for our trivia event that I'm sure we'll host in May as little prizes, so I got some stuff for that, but I wasn't really drawn to anything like in particular. Like Jamie held up a couple little tchotchke things. We got the Five Nights at Freddy's coasters, which are cool, and I'm more apt to buy those things. I still use this. Like I have the
Go ahead, Nick.
I have the
Sorry.
Frozen Empire coaster right here.
Yeah.
That, like I'm more apt to use these little things versus the T-shirts or the big posters because, as you can see in the camera, my wall's a little full. I got this whole room is just full of stuff. From baseboard to ceiling, I got crap everywhere. So I'm limited in that until we get a bigger spot or a house or something like that. I don't think the merch was bad. And that's not why I didn't buy stuff. It just I'm my bar for buying stuff is higher now. If it's like good to average, I just am not going to go buy it. It has to be exceptional or like something really obscure that I'll purchase. But that's kind of all I had for merch talk. They were just really nothing is like standing out. There's a couple cool like little pin sets and whatnot like that, but again, nothing I necessarily super needed. I surely didn't need the really shitty Megan mask. I didn't need the Megan popcorn bucket. That stuff just can stay wherever the hell it's gonna stay. Probably gonna be at some garage sale at Universal in 6 months for
Probably
$1.95. But yeah, so that's all I had for merch. Jamie mentioned something that did trigger a thought, and this doesn't have to be a long discussion, but you mentioned Five and Dime, so this is what made me think this. The whole backlot thing, getting those free little trading cards each week, that was fun. I really liked that. Again, that's something a little something small that I can collect and use as memorabilia. That didn't obviously play into the fact of why I wasn't buying stuff because I got these little free cards, but I think that's really fun. I hope that that's something that continues. I like that weekly thing. It drives me to, obviously I'm going to be there every week, but I like to see the new stuff, and it's a fun little kind of game scavenger hunt kind of thing. You guys know we like scavenger hunts, so I'm on board.
It was fun, but I did it twice, and then I kind of gave up after that. Honestly,
I got every single one of them. I got
know
some
you
extras
did.
too.
You got a couple extras, which is perfect for me.
I didn't do it at all, but I do think I do agree. I think it's fun to give people something else to do. And it's cool when it's free, and it's a giveaway. Like you can't ask for money with everything. And I think to give people some, if not like your run of the mill fans, it was definitely for those of us that go every couple of nights or every night. And if you're in Nick's shoes, but yeah, I think it made sense to kind of give people something to do, something else to look for, some little Easter eggs here and there. It's kind of like when they did the, you guys remember this better than I do, but like the online game stuff they did, some like the pre-event stuff.
Yeah. They would do like trivia or little mini games with leaderboards in the houses, stuff like that. Yeah, I just like that, and it's something that gets people to come back. Especially the people like us that do go every week. It gives us something specifically each week to kind of look forward to an extent. I'm not on Wednesday stay and scream like barging down the doors to go get that one little card that I can get any of the days that remainder week. But again, it's just a nice little tip of the hat to the people that go regularly.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. I think the last discussion point before we get into the big three would be Dead Coconut Club. Pretty cool overall vibe. The little sorority witch thing. I feel like it dropped off. I feel like we didn't go there towards the tail end, because we were just kind of always getting into the park again. Something falling to the wayside because everything else is so good. You know, it just kind of, my priorities are always like, oh, I gotta hit this house, gotta hit this house, gotta hit here. But I really enjoyed it. It was fun that both up and downstairs were both cohesive. You know, last year I really enjoyed last year. Honestly, I think if they had the bottom level as the full thing, like no Blumhouse up top, I think last year's would have beaten this year's for me. But I enjoyed it. What do you guys? Where are we at on the old Dead Coconut?
I loved it. I thought
Yeah.
this year was great. I thought it was the best year they've done it.
Really?
Yep. I think that I enjoyed it more than a few, the last couple of years. And I think that, maybe it's just because I spent more time there. I wasn't rushing to get to Stay and Scream. I mean, I wasn't doing that. So like I would hang out for a little bit, grab a drink, and enjoy myself, enjoy the vibe. But yeah, I didn't think it was that bad. I know some people weren't like super hype on it, but I think it was better than last year for sure.
I was one of the ones that wasn't super hype on it. I think last year's was way better. I'm really surprised you guys liked this one so much.
I feel like last year's upstairs was a waste. It was just like a throwaway. It was just more, Black Phone and what's the hell else?
Megan and Merge, because they had like the little statues as like photo ops.
Yeah, like that again. It felt like the
I love
Scare Zone
Blumhouse.
last year. I know that,
I
but
know.
like I feel like it was just like, hey, we have nothing to put in here, so let's just put a bunch of Blumhouse shit because we have it.
I love
And that
Blumhouse
bothers
and I
me.
love me
This
a
year,
photo
at least
op.
they tried to theme it, and it was
Mhm.
themed. It felt like it was a sorority house for witches. I thought it was cool. I thought
I
it was
liked
cute.
it a lot. Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
It was cute, but I feel like the music last year was much better. I feel like maybe you did, Seamus, because you were there more than us. I never saw like the sorority sisters witch like dance thing
Yeah, I
that
got to
they
see it a
did.
couple of
I
times.
didn't get to see that. I don't know. It just didn't really feel Halloweeny to me, I guess. I mean, downstairs did a little bit when you walked in by like the cauldron and stuff, but I don't know. It just kind of threw me off. And I'm a sucker for 80s and vampires, so obviously I'm gonna like last year's more. And like I said, I'm not saying this year is bad. This is just my preference, what I like better. And last year, I do agree with you, Nick. We definitely spent more time there because this year we wanted to be at Horror Nights more. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree with the music part for
Mhm.
Jamie. I like the music from last year, but I'm a sucker for the 80s stuff. So I get it why the DJs are up there spinning like the new stuff. But I thought last year it made sense to do that. This year it makes sense to do the new stuff because it was like we're at a present day
Right.
sorority party.
Mhm.
What are they going to be playing? Current music. Last year it made sense because it was like 80s vampire-y. It hit that nostalgia vibe. I liked the music last year, but I think overall I liked this year better than last year. But if they had the downstairs as the upstairs as well last year, like if it was full 80s vampire nightclub vibes, I would have been more in on that. And I don't dislike Blumhouse films, but it felt very cash grabby, like we're out of space or out of props or what have you, to just kind of throw it all up there because it did feel disjointed. It was two different things.
And
It
I'm the
really
target
was.
audience for it, so
You are,
They
and you're
got
not
me.
the only one. You're not the only one. That's
they
for
did
sure.
have all those cool coasters though that they did the different coasters every week, which was
I do
fun.
like that. I do miss
Yeah.
that. Coming off of our trading card discussion,
Mhm.
I did like every week kind of having a different coaster or something to collect. So that would be cool if they did something like that next year as well. It doesn't even have to be IP related. It can just
No,
be different
yeah.
Coconut Club designs
Mhm.
and just have like a different one for each week. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I got. The food and beverage options. There was food galore. And all of it was pretty good. There was a lot of different options, and I honestly had to fight every time to be like, well, what do I want tonight? I like specifically went to Horror Nights like hungry just so I could get some of these items. I mean, who knew ramen at a theme park was going to be so fun? I was just blown away by that one. That one was good. Spaghetti pizza, cheese stick, Yeah, the cram tots. I mean, these are all sort of at the top of my list. What are some of your favorite food items that you got to get into this year?
Fucking tendies, bro.
The
I
garlic
had the
parm
tendies
tendies.
like every other night.
Yeah.
They were so good.
The
I
cheese
made my
stick,
little-
of course.
I made our little cousin go buy me some. I gave her my credit card and was like, "You can get yourself some, but you need to go buy me some." I'm gonna sit here and drink my Dufftober while you go fetch me. You're my in park Uber Eats right now.
Fetch me my tendies.
Yeah, I like the cheese stick, obviously. It was delicious. And same thing, Nick, I'd be like, ooh, what are we having for dinner tonight? Horror Nights? We would just eat
Yep.
food at Horror Nights. The fried carrot cake was really good. Nick got it on the
Oh,
last night, I think.
Yep.
And the cotton candy was really good on it, too. I like cotton candy. I'm trying to think what else we tried that we didn't
The
already
chicken,
mention.
the buffalo chicken dip was
The pickle dip.
tops.
I did not
yeah.
try,
I mean, almost.
unfortunately.
I feel like this year every booth had at least one item that was like, damn, do I get that tonight or not? Like I don't think there was too many throwaway items this year. And I mean what I mean by that is like, I could take it or leave it. Like you actually had to think about what you wanted to stop and get, which was cool.
From
Jamie, one of the
LRTista?
booths.
Sorry, Nick, go ahead.
I was gonna say I was gonna prompt you to talk about that booth because I feel like we started out pretty hot there,
Mhm.
and we really didn't go back. And I never saw anybody over there, but the food was pretty good. It just
Mhm.
I don't think it was more appetizery than anything.
It was more appetizery and it was good. You had the churros, I think, and I don't think I tried them,
Yeah.
but the only reason I never got them is because I'm a sauce gal and they only give you like a little droplet of the dips, and that's definitely not going to be enough. So that's,
No,
and I
like a
feel bad
fucking
for asking,
eyedropper.
hey, can
Like,
I get like
bloop.
a whole ramekin of like each sauce? But anyways, and then they had the pan con tomate, which was really good, like the little garlic
That was
bread
really
with
good.
the Parmesan
Yep.
cheese and tomato sauce on it. Very good. The shrimp was pretty good too. We had that twice. I think the first time we had it, it was a little bit more flavorful, but the second time it was still pretty good around. I feel like, okay, and I don't want this to come off bad. I feel like this year, being a vegetarian / pescatarian occasionally, I did not have many options. I didn't really try too many things. I mean, what I
You
had
definitely didn't.
the cheese stick, the tomato bread, the shrimp that I had like twice. I had a bite of the corn. We had the corn maybe once.
I only got it once. The flamin' hot elotes.
Yeah.
I only had it once.
And then Seamus was generous enough at Premium Scream to let me try one of his cram tots without the spam, which was tasty, but I'm not going to buy a dish and then pick some. I mean, Nick would eat, of course, obviously, but still, just the principle. So I didn't really get to expand my palate that much this year. It was a little disappointing. I mean, on the last night, I went to the standard booth that they have right over there across from the Fallout booth and got the little lentil African coffin pie thing that they had. And that was pretty tasty, a little salty, but still pretty good. But other than
Yeah.
that, I mean, the cheese stick was probably the highlight of
Yeah,
the food for me. Yeah.
I think they need to rethink their vegan options. I think that there's just there's too many opportunities there that they're missing if they don't do something else. Because you're not the only person that's mentioned it. I've heard it from a few people that like, I wish there was more vegan or vegetarian
Yeah.
options, and there just really isn't enough.
And I know people will
agree with that.
say, like, oh, they had the walking tacos vegan. I'm not going to lie to you. I was a pretty hardcore vegan for probably like 6 years. Those dry ass walking tacos with the, and I know I follow still a couple vegan pages and stuff like that, and everyone else thinks the same stuff. It's just, compared to the other toppings that they have on everything, it's just so bland. And just like, even with the ramen, I wanted to try the ramen so bad, but I'm pretty sure it was like a beef broth, and I know it'd probably make my stomach hurt, but like, you could have even done like a miso broth and just done the noodles and different veggies in
Right.
it, and I would have been happy with that,
Yeah. What I really hope,
I agree.
and what I think we've discussed before, but they should do this. There should be a specific vegan booth. Now, I think you should have
I'm
vegetarian
surprised they
options
haven't
at
done
other
it.
places.
Mhm.
Like, you don't have to
Mhm.
move the elotes corn out of the Jason booth to put it specifically at the vegan booth.
Mhm.
I think there should be other options like how we have now. Like, it's kind of limited for vegetarians at the booths. That's fine. Keep it limited where they might be able to get something, they might not. But in addition, just turn one booth into fully vegan. So that way
Yeah.
there is no cross-contamination. There, you don't have to worry. Anything you're getting at that booth is vegan. No questions asked. Like that, I think that is something that should happen.
Yeah.
Especially when you have some food booths that aren't doing anything. Not that this is a booth, but like nobody was getting pizza fries this year. What about the little twisted tater chips?
Same
Nobody
thing
was
with the
there
pizza
this whole year.
with the vegan pizza fries, dry as hell.
Yeah, like just make one of those locations a vegan only spot.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. Maybe this is primarily for Nick. Did you miss the twisted tater? Did not having a twisted tater booth affect your abilities to function?
My dumbass didn't even try the chips.
I miss having salt and vinegar twisted tater chips. I have not had twisted taters since they got rid of them, and since I think Angel told me on closing day like 2 years ago that they had salt and vinegar as an option but didn't promote it. So I got it. I had 2 of them on like the closing night. But if you're getting rid of salt and vinegar, eat shit. I'm not giving you my money. I don't want fucking creamy ranch tater tot.
Yeah, that's
taters
gross.
or
Ranch is
whatever.
gross.
Or barbecue or
gosh.
what. I don't want any of that. I don't want sour cream and onion. I want salt and vinegar, scorch my mouth tater tots or twisted taters.
Ranch can kiss my ass.
The best twisted tater they had was when they had the Last of Us twisted tater with like the mushroom powder and like the cheese sauce and all the other weird stuff on it. That bad boy was good.
Yeah. So I get why they probably got rid of them. I don't think the uproar will be big enough for them to pivot and bring them back. So
I would assume it's just
it is what it
too
is.
time consuming, right?
That's what I think. I think it's also, I think we probably discussed it at one point, but my best guess is it leads to way too inconsistent of a product. If you get sometimes you can get really thin ones and they're burnt. Sometimes you get really thick ones and they're soggy and like crappy. Like, and you hold the stick up and the fucking things droop over like a little, like mushroom head.
Or you gotta rip into it like a piece of beef jerky sometimes if it's a little too overcooked.
It's not cooked enough.
You're like, this is good.
Potato
they drop
dishes
it all. They cook it all for the same time. But if
Mhm.
they're at different consistency, thickness
I mean, it's
wise,
probably why we haven't had like a baked potato dish, because potatoes are just a pain in the ass to work with in a lot of ways outside of making French fries. But of course, all their French fries come in a bag. I'm sure they don't fresh hand cut their
they're
own
not
fries.
cutting those. Fuck no.
Just bring back the poutine, man.
I know. I would love a poutine dish again.
The vegan poutine was so good. And you guys said the regular one was good too.
It was really good.
Mhm.
I do like that seemingly every year we're sort of getting this like cold weather dish.
Yeah.
The ramen for me was that cold weather dish.
Mhm.
As soon as it was chilly, I can just go get my like little spicy Cheeto ramen, make sure I'm empty stomach because that thing is filling. And it's got a little kick on it too. It was nice. But yeah, I enjoyed that. The PB&J, the fried PB&J I had once. It was fine, but it was very greasy and stuff like that. I'm still bummed that there was no real burger or hot dog. You had the freakishly long corn dog, which we tried at Premium Scream Night, and I never got again because it just was not good.
It was just a corn dog.
I forgot about the PB&J. I never got the PB&J either. But again, that's something they've had in the past.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to try different things that they haven't had.
Right.
Yeah.
And I
That's
mean,
what
to be honest with you, like to me, deep fried anything is it's just lazy. Like deep fried Oreos. Like that's
I'll
just a
still
waste
eat
of
it,
it.
but-
Like they're good. Yeah, no, I mean, look, I'm not saying that they're not worth getting.
No,
but
I know what
it's
you mean, though.
No,
That's
at
like
a
to me,
fair,
that's
it's fine.
Yeah, right. That's like fair food. Exactly. That's exactly where I was going with that. I think it feels cheap for a $300 ticket, or I should say $300 for a pass, for a full season pass. So I shouldn't really complain. But I mean, to ask people to buy, food, like it should be food that's worth buying. And I don't think deep fried food is, I just don't think I get that at Central Florida Fair, not Universal Studios.
Yeah, this is a hot take for food, but I think Jamie mentioned it when she was talking about the peanut butter and jelly. It's like, well, I've had it before. Like, I don't think any food item should be repeated at least the year directly following it. They should all be new stuff. And then, maybe if something kicks around, because, do I wish the little rocks from hell from last year were here this year?
Right.
Yeah, but guess what? I probably wouldn't have gotten them as nearly as much because I wanted to try the new stuff. So
That's
just
true.
full new stuff every year. If you
we
want to
had
bring
them at
something
Epic.
back and tweak it a couple years later, go ahead. But yeah, I never ended up trying Jason's sausage. I didn't put his sausage in my mouth.
We tried his cob.
Yeah. I knobbed on his cob a little bit, but I did not put Jason's schlong in my mouth. I just couldn't get past it. It just looked like a giant turd. It looked like a dog shit. Like it looked like a swirled up turd,
And
like
to
a
be
cartoon
fair,
dog turd.
I maybe saw like 3 people the whole season walk around with one over
I
there.
should have just gotten one and
I
jammed
wonder
it
how.
in my mouth
I know.
and swung it
I honestly
around.
wanted you to try it. I was very curious about it.
Jamie wants to see me put Jason's sausage in my mouth.
You should-
Better call him.
Hey, everybody's got a kink, man.
It was sausages, apparently, that did it.
we didn't even have the
Um,
s'mores. I don't think.
I tried the s'mores.
Oh, yeah,
and it
you
was
did, you did.
fucking
Not.
terrible. It was god awful, terrible.
I didn't try it
It
out
was
of
not a
principle because
s'more.
you didn't call it the Jason s'more. He's like I said you should have.
I tried
Yeah,
a
it was-
sample of it, and it was all right.
Yeah, it was not a s'more. It was on the same little chocolate almond bread that the man slop was on.
Gross.
Weird choice.
So it was like-
weird choice.
It was like
Yeah,
in
that
a,
was an interesting choice.
they made it to look like a canoe, and it had like the
Oh, is that
marshmallow,
what-
because it's like camping
Ah,
canoe, whatever.
Okay.
But no, it was very not good. It was not a
It
s'more.
was very much not good.
Very bad. No good.
You
Bad
bite into it,
Jason.
it's like a baguette.
Bad
You're like,
Jason.
wow, this is a little
Yeah, I was
different.
like, oh.
little crunchy.
Speaking of the man slop, we had the Huskus man slop sandwich, which for as wild as it is, pretty good. I actually had that on closing night as well.
He did.
I had
Sorry
that,
about
the
the
carrot
door slamming,
cake.
everybody.
I didn't even hear it.
No.
Okay, I just got the inconsiderate people of this house.
I'm trying to think of what else we're missing for food, but I feel like that was a lot of the booths. We
Yeah,
talked
I mean, I
about
think
the
movie,
Terrifier
talked about
booth?
Fallout.
The chicken
Oh,
wings.
the
I don't even
popcorn,
think you
the
tried.
chicken popcorn, the
I don't
chicken
think
wing.
I had
didn't-
anything from the Terrifier booth actually. Now that I
again-
go think about it,
I couldn't get anything at the Terrifier booth except for the freaking sugar cookie glasses. What am I going to do? Eat a cookie every night?
Yeah.
well,
I
yeah,
guess.
We had plenty of macaroons,
I
so
Oh my god, macaroons had to have been the sweet treat highlight for us. I don't know what it was, but me and Nick really got on the macaroon train this year. They had some
Macaroons
good
are-
ones.
they're pretty good.
They
Like
were.
$1.
They had like I think the Jason was like a dark chocolate something kind of one. The
it's like a hazelnut, I think.
whatever it was delectable. The WWE one was the
Yeah,
s'mores
Jason's nuts in your mouth and Jason's sausage.
one. The
Somebody fucking did that. Somebody
you're-
did that on purpose.
Now you're
Somebody
making me
definitely
stutter.
did that on purpose.
The Five Nights
You
at
got the
Freddy's
cob.
one was like a strawberry cheesecake. Come on, guys, this isn't a inappropriate podcast.
Come on, we're a serious podcast here. We talk about cutting edge
We are
and
not
I'm
important
trying to
things.
talk about
friendly.
the Five Nights at Freddy's macaroon. Come on. Anyways, all the macaroons were really good this year, and that was probably the Terrifier inside the different shops and stuff in the San Francisco bakery over there. They had the dark chocolate Clown Cafe Terrifier brownie. It was like a dark chocolate cherry, and I'm not a big cherry fan, but that was probably one of the best brownies I've ever had. Mhm.
What about the most popular food location this whole year was Louis, the
Louis-
spaghetti pizza.
The
God.
Za.
That was one of my favorites. I had it maybe 5 or 6 times. I loved it.
They finally did it up
loved
for
it.
me. Shout outs to the chef because I got to try it once. They made it for me without the meatballs, and it was very good. I could see the hype finally.
No balls, just spaghetti.
No balls, just spaghetti.
Nope.
Oh, I loved it. That was one of my favorites.
It was.
I
I
also
gotta
was
admit,
like-
it was very good.
It was closing weekend. I don't know what day it was. It was closing night, I think. Maybe closing night I didn't have the Huskus man slot. Maybe it was the day before.
I
But
think he's
one of the days I was just sitting by myself in the corner, just smashing a fucking slice of pizza, and then Art the Clown goes rolling by like a dingus on his little tricycle. I'm trying to look like a fucking monster in the dark, just covered in sauce, just like slamming my face with, yeah, all of it. But even like those little non-alcoholic drinks they had in there were really good. They had like lime chica whatever drink, and they had like a foxy punch kind of thing.
That was pretty good.
Very sweet treats. I really enjoyed it though. It was a very refreshing drink. I'd often get that if I'm gonna be there. I might as well. I never tried the cupcake. I'm not a cupcake person.
Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I didn't even try the friggin' cupcake. Oh, Jesus.
You had.
I knew I
months.
was missing something. God.
It just hit you now.
It
We'll
did.
go find a cupcake somewhere. I
Do
bet they
we-
got plenty in the back.
They better
I
have
didn't
some
have it,
leftover. I don't even care if it's
But I was
stale.
present when people did have it, and
Mhm.
I guess there was like raspberry or something in it, and
Oh.
that would have immediately turned me off
That
because
sounds good.
I hate eating chocolate, anything, and biting into a big, nasty, sweet red fruit filling. I'm like,
Mhm.
ugh.
You're not a
Not for
fruit
me.
and chocolate guy?
I'm a fruit and or a chocolate guy. But yeah, no, if you give me a chocolate orange, I'll throw it at you.
I love those.
Should not be.
We love
mixed.
That's like
chocolate
one of my
oranges
favorite
around
Christmas
here.
stockings.
Disgusting. Gross.
Smack
But
it
dude,
open.
I don't want to
pull
hear it
the
because
pieces
you're
out.
the person who's running around the house eating black olives, like just straight.
I
like
do. I
you
love
have the
those.
weirdest fucking
What's wrong with
taste.
that? I mean,
I used to put
Everything
them
is
on all
wrong
my
with that.
fingers.
like little, I know, like little
Everything is wrong
alien
with that.
fingers, or
I
the
used to put
bugles
them
on
on
your
my fingers.
fingers.
Eating garnish. No,
I
it's
love
good.
olives.
I used to eat sticks of butter underneath Nana's table.
Oh my god.
This is, you know what, Nick? This makes a lot of sense now because my
I
mom
would
used
just
to
hide
get
under
mad
there
at
with a
me
stick of butter and
for.
eat it like a fucking candy bar.
I used to dip the spoon in the tub of butter sometimes, so I
Oh,
can't judge
God,
you.
you guys are.
Oh yeah,
Oh
for
my
sure.
god, don't.
I used to have mustard sandwiches.
Okay, now we're a little crazy.
That's
A mayo
No,
sandwich, you might be onto something.
okay. No, that's just disgusting. What the fuck is
In
that?
a mustard sandwich, is it? Oh my
No, God, no.
Too,
it's delicious.
So tangy.
It's delicious. It's so good. Sometimes you get extra mustard. Sometimes you go light mustard. It's just so many options.
Maybe a Dijon on there?
Yeah, a little spicy.
No.
You cut the crust. We'll see.
Ooh.
Okay. I think that's all our food
Enough
description.
sandwich
Do we want to
talk.
mention? Do we want to mention just this? I know we're already 50 minutes in. Do we want to mention drinks? Is there any drink anybody had that was?
Oh.
I had the toy. I think it's called the Toys in the Attic. That was the Fireball drink with like the little gummy bears
Oh,
at
yeah.
the Lila booth
Mhm.
that I really did enjoy. There was a Jaeger style drink at the Dead Coconut Club that I had. It
Oh,
honestly wasn't
God.
terrible. It was like Jaeger and lemony kind of thing.
Ugh.
But I don't think I had a lot of the mixed drinks. But Jamie, I think you had more than I did.
I did. I tried the Phantom Punch. That one was pretty tasty. I already forgot what the ingredients consisted of in it, but Nick tried it that night, and I think Duff tried it that night on Halloween night or the day before Halloween, something. And they weren't big fans. It's a little fruity. I think it was maybe kind of grapefruit forward, but I liked it. And I'm usually not a grapefruit fan. Inside Sting Alley for the little Black Cat Lounge they had in there, I tried was it the Cat's Meow? Someone can correct me if
we
I'm
went
wrong.
there
I forgot
once
to.
and that was it.
We did, and it was the martini that they had in there. Very strong, but tasty. Definitely worth
Mhm.
the $17 or whatever. I
It's
actually
one of those
didn't.
bars, kind of like behind the scenes. You didn't realize it was
Yeah.
there unless you had
I
a
did
reason
like
to
that
go in
little
and looking
cut. It
for
was nice over there. Very, very chill. I didn't get to try the Jason beer. Did you guys try the Jason beer? The cider?
No, because it's a cider.
Jason
It was a cider.
beer.
No,
Oh,
I
it was
just
a
wanted-
cider. No, I did
The-
not.
It was like the Angry Orchard pumpkin cider.
I should have
or
just
something.
gotten it for the can, but I didn't try it either because I obviously don't like venturing out and trying different things. But I tried a couple drinks from the Dead Coconut Club. Again, I don't remember which ones they were. But yeah, guys, obviously I'm pretty boring and don't live up to the half the name of the podcast that I'm on because I pretty much drank High Noons the whole time this season. But the cocktails that I
Well, we sh-
tried, I did like. I think they have improved from the Fanta bar cocktails and whatnot that they had last year.
Yeah.
There was a couple Fanta pop-up little booths this year, but it seemed like they were serving the Phantom Punch, the Deathly Nightshade, I think was the other one that they had, the tequila-based one. So not a bunch of weird Fanta drinks, which was nice.
Yeah. So we should mention our thoughts on the peanut butter and jelly beer. I at least think we
Oh,
should
yeah.
at least take 5 minutes to talk about that before we get into our houses.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was no bueno.
I didn't try it either.
I was not okay with it.
You didn't like
Which,
it?
like,
Um,
it's a big hit.
It was-
Everyone loved
You
it.
thought it was gross, Seamus?
I was not
Ooh.
happy with it. I had it once.
I love it.
And I kind of get where the appeal is for it. I don't know if it was, there wasn't either enough peanut butter or it was too it was too fruit forward. There was something about it. And the problem with sours is I don't like super sweet sours. Like, I know that sounds redundant, but like sours that are so sweet that you really don't get a sour, kick to it.
Mhm.
I'd prefer a sour that's just straight. I want like sour. Like, give me it. Like,
Yeah,
so it, like
Warhead.
make my face pucker. And I think that lacto cooler, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
Isn't incredibly sour either, but at least it's more of a traditional sour. And I would have preferred them just keep that. But I am happy they're trying something new.
Mhm.
But yeah, I wasn't a super big fan of it.
Yeah, I thought it was okay, but again, with like any sour, like I'm one and done. I
Yeah.
could have had half of that can and been happy. I think overall beer selection, I think it's unfortunate because I think we're just gonna stay status quo. Miller Lite, Modelo, Mich Ultra,
Right.
like it just all they have is like the domestics, a couple Octobers, and then sours, and it's just kind of disheartening. I wish they had
Yeah,
more
they're always
ales and lagers or just something more of the season.
Yeah, they're definitely lacking in beer choices for sure.
What was
which
that
sucks
beer
because then I'm
that you and Seamus tried? The one that you said was kind of new that week? F something, FU?
Oh, the FML from Stone.
Oh.
You guys like that
Yeah,
one, right?
the Stone. Yeah, that
yeah,
was
double.
not bad.
It was a double
Yeah.
hazy.
Yeah, it was an IPA.
But again, I guess Stone's smaller than domestic or than your typical domestics.
I mean, it's
so it's fine.
There wasn't anything special about it. I mean, it was good. It was good, but like, I mean, I hate to say it, but like at this point, most double IPAs, most hazy IPAs, they're all kind of starting to bleed together. Like they all kind of taste the same in a lot of ways. Obviously, it's sacrilege, and a lot of bearded, glass-wearing, people are going to come after me, be like, "You leave my IPAs alone." But I mean, in a lot of ways, they are starting to like bleed together. A lot of the same. Everyone's got one. Everyone's doing like 3 or 4 different ones, and they all kind of like they run together. So it's good. It wasn't bad. I mean, the fact that there weren't a lot of double IPAs anyways. Like that was the option you had. So it wasn't bad. But again, like I would like them to try to put a little more effort into finding themed beer that's local, gives some smaller local breweries a chance to shine a little bit. I still think it should be like every week they have a different one rotate in. That way every brewery doesn't feel like they have to have 2 months worth of beer brewed.
Yeah.
But that would give someone like Toll Road a chance to be like, hey, we brewed a beer. Do you guys want to, we'll brew you a couple barrels. That'll last you a week or whatever it is. And
you can put it in one spot. It doesn't have to be park wide.
Right, exactly. There needs to be a specific, I mean, whether that's in club horror or wherever, there needs to be a craft beer stand that's the one place in the park that sells the different craft beer. And I think that was kind of what Club Horror was a little bit. And there were a few other options throughout the park, scattered about the park. But I don't know if it's because they want to push people to get Duff or whatever. But I don't know. I just feel like it's lacking in the beer department.
No,
and I don't think it's ever going to change.
No, I hope they, like you said, I hope kind of like where they had the Peacock Bar, just put it behind there. It's kind of tucked away. You don't necessarily have to advertise it. And it's very easy to take inventory if it's in one location. It's easier to maintain. And then you can kind of dip into those smaller batch brews that, they can brew a keg or two or whatever. And, just kind of once it's done. And you put the next keg on tap or something like that. It might be wishful thinking to hope that they will do that. But, that's what we are. We're wishful thinking here.
And I don't want to like make it sound like I'm dogging on what they do because they do put an effort into finding some different things. I mean, we had the Oktoberfest from Crooked Can, which is really good. We've got obviously the PB&J beer. We've had Stone. So they've made an attempt to bring stuff in, but I feel like I don't know. I think at some point there needs to be a more of a devotion to specifically local beer, local craft breweries that aren't just the one or two you see every year.
Yeah, and I think Whole Hog needs to go.
Yeah,
I got it a lot, but
it's time to change to a different pumpkin. Doesn't have to be Pumpkinhead, but like do something different.
But yeah, like I don't even get a lot of pumpkin off of Whole Hog. It tastes more like a dark October. Like it's just I get no pumpkin off of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. I want like a light pumpkin beer. For that season. So
no, I agree with you.
Glad you brought up the drinks because I got off on a kind of polish off that category pretty good. All right, so let's get into I guess the two shows. We can discuss those. I don't think there's really much to discuss in them. Hontophonic, I think me and Seamus saw it once. Jamie caught it
in
bits and pieces. Yes. It was pretty similar to the last time they had the whatever it was called, Ghoulish. It's very similar. Is it cool? Yeah. Is it a people eater? A little bit. I think it needs to get changed up a little bit to make us want to go there more. But once I saw it that first time and full, I was like, I've seen this before. Yeah, it's cool, but I've seen it before. So I don't think any water show is going to, especially in a year where, like we already mentioned, everything is so good.
Yeah.
It's not going to pull me there no matter how crazy good it is. But I'd like to see it come back, and I'd like to see it evolve. I hope it doesn't fall into the Nightmare Fuel like category where it's just different but same. But that's really all I got for Ghoulish. I don't think is there any other thoughts on it, or?
It was cool, but like you said, I feel
Yeah,
like it
it's
didn't
fun.
really eat as many people as it thought it would. I feel like I would, same kind of thing, catch people around the lake itself, kind of stopping and looking, taking a couple pics and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't like a we gotta be here kind of thing.
If they did like a little
Um,
drone show with it, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all for
Yes.
that. Nightmare Fuel, we did catch it.
Mhm.
We all witnessed it.
Mhm.
It was fun. It is a little different. It has a definitive ending this time. I think there was more acrobatics, maybe.
Yeah, I think so too.
But other than that, it's Nightmare Fuel. Like, if you've seen it before, you've seen it. I know our buddy Ash over on RIP Tour recently, after 5 years of the event, finally dipped his toes into the Nightmare Fuel family, and then he didn't leave. He was at
It's so
that
funny.
every single show, every time.
I told
every time
Nick, I was like,
pulled up Instagram,
Ash must really
he's
like
there.
the Nightmare Fuel this year.
I was like, I'm pretty sure he's never seen it until this year. So I was like, is it good? Yeah, but I've also this is from somebody who's seen it for 5 years now. Like, it is.
Mhm.
I don't need to be there every time. Like, I think the first and second year we went a lot because A, it wasn't as popular, and B, it was it was very different at the time. But now it's kind of like, okay, that was really cool. I saw it last year. I saw it the year before. I saw it the year before that. And it's similar enough, but it's a good vibe. I think the part that really hurts it for me, like when we went, it's just a complete clusterfuck over there.
Oh my
Trying to get into the
God.
show, it's a fucking madhouse.
I
and
thought
just
all of
have-
us
I
were
have
going to lose
zero
our
patience.
minds. Literally, all of
Yeah.
us were like, well, guess we're not getting a fucking seat because everyone's just cutting us off
Yeah.
or acting like they're running to a fire. Well, there
I
is
think
fire,
that was
but
the reason I only did it once, is because
Same.
I had zero desire to have to go sit in line for an hour just to make sure we got decent seats.
We got lucky on that part. We didn't have to wait too long before they opened up the corral gates, as it seemed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, it's just like there needs to be a better process of sitting people,
Has to be a
Yeah.
especially
better
for a show that's
system.
so popular.
Yeah.
Has
Right.
to be, because there's just no way that
No.
the only answer is to smash everybody in there with no rhyme or reason, no organization of who was here first, and then just open the floodgates. And then you got parties of 12 that are all linked up, and you got just these families that don't know what they're doing, kind of weaving around and yelling to so and so that's 2 people up, and cutting in between and cutting back and blocking the stairwells. It's a shit show.
Yeah,
it
it
needs to
really
get
is.
polished up. It really does. Obviously that goes into the popularity of it, but like there has to be a better answer.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know, but overall the show is still fun. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure you're gonna be amazed, and you might just go like 37 more times like Ash did. But yeah, so those are the shows. So let's get into our zones and street experiences. And I don't think we need to spend as much time talking about these because we've talked about these for so long.
Mhm.
I think the other topics that we've just discussed for the last hour, I think that was a lot of stuff we might not have said, in depth before. So I think that was important to say that stuff. But zones and street experiences, obviously we know what we know. We can kind of say like what we liked, what we didn't like, but I don't think we have to go crazy in depth. So I kind of put, like we did on our hype and our mid seasons, I put the zones and street experiences just together, 1 through 7.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm
I did
assuming
too.
that's how you
Mhm.
guys did it again. So I'll just kick us off.
Yeah.
6. Oh yeah, 6 spots, right? Yeah, there's 6 of them, not 7.
7. Oh, nope.
7?
Nope. I'm stupid. I added Nightmare Fuel. Whoops.
3, 4. Okay, no, I want to make sure.
That
'cause
was
I feel
my
like we
bad.
had 7 something else, but I'll just start off. My number 6 was The Origins of Horror. Leaps and bounds better than previous years. We actually had a zone. Even though it was just kind of crow people, chainsaws, gargoyles, pretty fun. But it wasn't like a I need to be here zone. Obviously, spacing is always going to be an issue because it's tight up there. I think the statues of the IPs were more of a picture grab, which is fun, but for traffic flow, not so good. The centerpiece was pretty cool looking, but again, nothing to make me be like, you know what I want to do? Go hang out in Origins of Horror right now. That's what I want. Like, it was always a cut through. So that's why I got it there. It definitely leaps and bounds above last couple of years, I'd say, but still, entrance zone is always tough for me to put higher because there's just not much to go off of. There's not really full stories and acts and whatnot. But what did you guys have? Seamus, what was your number 6?
My 6 was the same as you, Origins.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we had something there that was more than what they've had in the past. I think it was nice to have an actual zone. But I think what hurt it was it was more than enough nights where I just got more annoyed and I never really went through it. I always ended up just going to the right through Masquerade just because I don't begrudge them having photo op zones, like zones that are just things that people can stop and look at and go, oh, look, and then take pictures of it. Like, that's fine. But I mean, there was more than one night where it was just bottleneck and bottleneck and bottleneck of people groups of people just stopping to take like pictures with the art statue or take pictures with the Freddy statue or whatever. And it's like, that's fine, but there's no control. There's no line. There's nobody maintaining space so people can actually walk. And not only that, you're mixing the fucking chainsaws in there, which they don't need to be in there, but they're in there because they got to have chainsaws somewhere because chainsaws, fucking chainsaws. But zero reason like to have no room to walk if you're going to put all these different photo things. So I think again, nice that we actually got something there in that part of the park again, but at the same time, like there's got to be a better way to do that type of photo oppy thing and stop putting chainsaws there. Please God, leave them in Simpsons. Don't put them anywhere else.
Jamie, what was your number 6?
Club Horror was my number 6.
Okay.
I mean, hey, I talked about it on the last episode, I think, or one of the mid rankings we did, something. But it just wasn't really my jam. Literally, the jams, I just did not feel them. Sometimes I would like do bop when we were walking through it, but same thing. I feel like there was always a crap ton of people in there. I had one good time in there, and that was like one of the last nights when we were with a couple of our friends, and it was nice. But then again, we literally hung out in the back corner away from all the speakers and stuff, and that was great. I just feel like it's a little overwhelming. I wish the music was different, and I wish they had it in a different spot. If it was, I would have liked it a lot better. If they would have had it in the back by the water, where they had the Peacock Bob of Horror, I think that would have been much more beneficial, and I would have liked it. Or if they just added a bit more of a spooky element to it, I guess. I mean, the dancers did have those cool masks, like I said. They had a couple of the things hanging in the rafters and stuff too, but really it just felt like being at EDC, honestly, and drinking some beers at Horror Nights. It was kind of, it was a mixed vibe for me. And I know a lot of people liked it. A lot of people would be like, wow, you really didn't like Club Horror? It was so much fun. And it's like, it's just, I could have fun walking around not in Club Horror and getting a headache and a bunch of strobes in my eyes.
Yeah. So then, Jamie, what was your number 5 then?
Okay, we'll go to my number 5 then. Mel Zombies was my number 5.
All right, not high on the street experiences.
No, and it's just because I feel like I did really enjoy the zombies. I thought they were fun. It was fun to see them zipping around on the skates and stuff like that. They were very interactive. But again, I just wish they had, I know there's street experiences, but I just wish they had a little more something set up, a little more piece to add to it, just to kind of give that little more oomph. Like, even if they had like a like a quick little like drive-through like window thing or like a booth set up where the zombie would like come out and come in and like hand out the food through the window, just something like that. Not even nothing crazy. But yeah, I mean, the zones really did it for me this year, even though one of them wasn't y'all's favorite. Clearly, that's okay. It's still better than what we've had in that area in the last couple of years. So
yeah, Way better.
Mhm.
So Seamus, you're number 5. Oh, Seamus
I
is
was muted
We got
because,
him.
door slamming and dogs barking and cats kicking the shit out of me.
Yeah, knock on wood.
No,
Boots is
my number
sleeping.
5 was also Diane.
Oh.
Okay.
Not that I didn't like it. I thought it was a cool idea. It's finally nice to see them tie Mel's die-in in some way more than just the sign.
For sure.
I think that for years past, people didn't even notice that it was like changed. So it's nice to see them actually like point it out a little bit and actually add some flavor to it. But at the same time, I feel like it was just kind of a weaker scare zone. There really wasn't anything special about it. I really was hoping that like it would be one of those deals where you can order food and they would deliver your food to you,
Or
like
that
an
too.
actual car hop.
Do like an
Um,
overlay inside, maybe. Mhm.
Yeah, it just maybe add a little bit more, do some sort of like show element, like some sort of 50s cafe, elephant. Why did I just say elephant?
We need
fuck?
elephants. We need a
Yeah,
safari
losing
zone.
my mind.
We need
No,
trapeze artists.
element. I think there needs to be there needed to be more of that element to it. And there's also an elephant going on in the background because people again in my house don't give a shit. I'm getting way off track here. No, I think that it was good, but I just feel like there was things lacking this year with it, and it was more. I don't know. It was better. It was better than what they've done in the past, but not so.
Yeah, I agree with what he's saying. There's like it was a good starting point to what might be going on, in the future. So
Yeah.
I get that. I'll jump into my number 5, and I think this is gonna shock a lot of people. Mutations, Toxic 20s.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't I didn't feel myself needing to be there as much as like previous zones. There was a lot going on, but there like wasn't, we talked about this at our mid-season point. I get the story, the truck spilled over and people are toxic-y gross now, but like, they put the BuzzCon there, but like it was also subtly tied in. It wasn't very outright in being what it was. I thought the characters did great job. But like there was no big show element. There was nothing I needed to see. It was a very walk-through zone. You had some like skeleton people, and then you had the mobs or mobsters or whatever, and then you had like the Taffy for some reason. He's all
Mhm.
working for BuzzCon or mutated now or something like that. I liked the green slime coming down from the buildings. I liked the lighting, but it did feel like it felt like it was sort of missing something. I don't think you should have to listen to the podcast episodes to fully understand the story of something that's in front of you. I think you should be able to tell it and have it be told by walking through it. And we talked about it before with the tribute store and the house cues not being there, that corner felt like it just a dead end. Maybe that played into it a little bit, but yeah, I thought it was fine. It was good. But for me, that's just where I put it at my number 5. So then I'll swing back around to my number 4. This is now where I had what you guys were talking about, Mel's Die-In Zombies. I had a lot of fun here. I really liked interacting with them. They were very interactive. Maybe because it wasn't such a popular zone, that's something for me that I really look forward to is the one-on-one interactions. And in big zones, that doesn't happen as often, but Mel's Die-In, it was able to. So you'd go up and have, pretty much one-sided conversations because they're zombies and they don't talk, they just make noises. But I really enjoyed that. I thought the lighting was cool. I thought the roller skates lit up were really fun. I liked that really blue and pink neon makeup to match the Mel's sign. I thought that was really cool. I agree with you guys. I think that there should have been something else there, whether that's more props or a little show or playing specific music that ties into the 50s there to kind of really bring it all together. But I really enjoyed it, and I would often find myself cutting that way specifically to head out so I could go say goodbye to the zombies one more time for the night. But that's where it lands for me, number 4. So Seamus, what is your number 4?
My number 4 was Toxic 20s.
Okay, so we're not far off.
Yeah, I think you and I are going to be pretty close. This one I didn't get it. I think more so than it being bad, I just didn't really understand the whole story, and I feel like they really missed a little bit on the whole BuzzCon thing. I think they could have tied that in a little bit better. But I feel like it was just kind of like a kind of like a, I don't know the word, cute little tie-in from that house, but they really didn't do much with it. And I've said it before. I think like on our mid-season episode, it was kind of like one of those things where I felt like they didn't really know where to go with it. Like they had like 2 or 3 different things happening all at once, like between the prohibition stuff and the chemical spill and the BuzzCon. And I don't know. I feel like for me, it was more, I just didn't get it. And it just wasn't something that I could really follow. So it just, unfortunately, yes, Millie, exactly. It just
I
kind of
agree.
didn't work for me. So because of that, it just fell down the rankings for me.
Yeah. So Jamie, you're number 4.
Since you guys already talked about it, I won't go over it too much, but I had Origins of Horror at my number 4. As I
Okay.
previously mentioned, it is nice that we have an actual zone, and this was a zone, back in this little area in the little Minions Alley, as I'd like to call it. um, I thought it was kind of fun. I really liked saying hi to the crows. I like saying hi to all the gargoyles and passing them by. You guys know I'm a sucker for a photo op, so I definitely took my pics, not at nighttime, really, because there was a gajillion people trying to take a picture with freaking Freddy Fazbear and Terrifier, so that was clogging it up at the end a little bit. But it was fun to see the statue scare actor scare some people. They got a couple good scares in there. And Seamus, I know you hate the chainsaws. I know you guys both don't like them. But honestly, they're never going to get rid of them because that's what these people get so scared of, these chainsaws, and just they eat it up, man. Literally, they love it. They live for it. But it was nice to have something here again, and it wasn't the best one, but it's better than what we've had.
Yeah. So then what is your number 3?
My number 3, this was a toughie. My number 3 is Mutations Toxic 20s. Not too crazy.
Okay.
But right there in the middle. Personally, I liked the zone. I think I spent the most time in the zone, honestly, somehow, just hanging around or talking to people or hanging by the food booths and stuff like that. I thought the scare actors were very fun and interactive. The little stage show that they did with like Newt and Molly over there in front of Finnegan's was fun when you got to see it. I do agree that at the end where the tribute store used to lay, that it did get a little empty there, and it kind of just dissipated at that. Kind of took away from the immersion of the zone. And like we've said before, that was the area where they had the stage shows usually and stuff like that for previous years and previous zones. So would have been nice to see a little bit more something there. But overall, for what it was, I thought it was a pretty fun zone. I do like all the green lights and the green goo going down the buildings, like you had mentioned, Nick. And I liked the soundtrack that they played in it too. Thought it was fun, very ominous. Not very 1920s mobsters, but still spooky.
Yeah. So Seamus, you're number 3.
My number 3 is Club Horror. I thought this was it was fun, I guess is the best way I can put it. I think it was pleasantly better than I expected it to be. I think that the complaints about it are warranted. I feel like the music was not super Halloween-esque. It wasn't very, like, it didn't really fit the theme. And I feel like I would have preferred it to be more of a Halloween party than just like a club. But at the same time, out of everywhere in the park that I wanted to just kind of chill and hang out, that wasn't a bad spot to kind of hang out in the back and chill, because it was nice to kind of people watch, listen to music, have a drink. Obviously, it's not a place, if you're looking to have conversation, probably not the greatest place to stop and have a conversation, but that usually wasn't, where I was going to have conversation. And besides, for me, I think it was more the times when I was there alone or before anybody else I knew got there. If I wanted to kind of just go sit for a minute by myself and have a drink, that would be the place I'd go, because, obviously I'm not trying to hold a conversation with anybody because I'm by myself. So I enjoyed it. I think that there's definitely room for improvement if they bring something like this back. But at the same time, I do think that, out of the two street experiences, I think it was more of a lively environment, somewhere I wanted to kind of hang out. And, you know, obviously not a scare zone, so you can't expect much of the scare zone, much of a scare zone. But I think it was pretty fun for what it is, and it's a nice use of that San Francisco area too.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So my number 3, we're right on line. Club Horror. I thought this was a very welcome, great addition to the event as a whole. I think that this is something that could, perfectly be brought back every single year with, a slight tweak or a slight change. And I think it would be welcomed back because it could be changed different enough. Is it loud? Yes, but we typically held up like back by the bar area. So we weren't necessarily like right next to the speakers and everything like that, bumping it and going crazy. But I really enjoyed Club Horror. Maybe because they had different beer options, still not crazy amount of beer options, but some beer options. I really enjoyed it. So I didn't think I would like it as much as I did, but it did pan out to be something that I really did enjoy. So my number 2, that is going to be Masquerade Dance with Death. This was a very fun zone. The big chandelier was a beautiful thing. I thought that they should have had longer like dances or changes or what have you. But yeah, I just love that. They were very in your face. They were very interactive, very hissy. They would always hiss at you. So I really enjoyed that zone. I don't necessarily, it's kind of like all the zones. I didn't necessarily spend a lot of time in all of them, but this is one that I would try to make a point. Like I said, when I'm leaving, I kind of want to leave through Mel Zombies into Masquerade and then head my way out because it's just a nice little ending. And I do like that they tied in the conservatory a little bit to that. That's kind of like walking through the arches because they still had the side entrances, I guess, to border it or whatever. But yeah, I think that was a very good zone, very fun zone, and I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss those little, as Seamus says, the little sexy vampires. But yeah, so Seamus, your number 2.
Muted again. My number 2 is Masquerade. I know it was my number 1 hype, but I think that the one that's at my number 1 just kind of beat it out. But yeah, I mean, Masquerade really kind of, I don't want to say it surprised me because I was expecting it to be good, but like, I think they did a lot more with it than I was expecting. I think that really did kind of hit every beat that I was looking for. I think you've got, not only do you have, vampires, but you've got a unique set of different characters. You've got the stilt walkers, you've got the standard walkers, you've got the set pieces with each unique set piece and the unique character at each set piece. I think it all worked really well. I think maybe the show element to it was a little lacking, but I still think it was a nice addition to the scare zone. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to actually add that part. But at least giving some life to that chandelier and actually understanding kind of like what was going on and why it was like that, I think was kind of cool. So yeah, I think that this scare zone has definitely improved over the last couple of years, both with lighting, and being able to really gather what is happening. I think the last couple of years it's been really dark, hard to kind of see what was going on. Now I think this year, they've progressively gotten better at that. So I enjoy it. I think that it was fun, it was good, but I just think my number 1 topped it all, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it.
Right. So Jamie, your number 2.
My number 2 is also going to be Masquerade Dance with Death.
Okay.
Obviously, you guys hyped it up as it should, but the costuming, the makeup, the design, just the scare actors, the little ball sequence that they did, and sometimes even when it wasn't like the big show aspect, I would see them partnering up and dancing with each other or doing like little like kills or bites in the street and stuff like that. And it was really fun. Like you said, Nick, though, I wish I would have spent more time over in here. I do feel like it was kind of our exit zone to kind of linger around when we were going and whatnot. But overall, I think it was a very fun addition to that area, and it utilized the space well in Hollywood. It maybe could have benefited from a little bit more of the stage aspect, like you guys said, but I still think with what it had, it worked really well. And I think all the scare actors did great with their parts, and I always like to see vampires incorporated into Scare Zone somehow, so this is perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Jamie, this leaves us with one spot left. So, what is your number one spot?
Rare Cat Lady of Crooked Lane is my number one spot for Scare Zones, as I anticipated
Rare.
it to be. Rare. Um,
Meow.
again, I mean, I wish we could hang out in this zone more, but it's pretty tough with the path that it's through. But man, if you just want to feel like you're walking through a little Halloween town full of kitty cats and trick-or-treaters, then this is the spot for you, or this was the spot for you. Sad. I mean, I think we could all agree that this would lend very well to a house. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see it become a house in the future. I would not mind one bit because I think it would work very well. I like how the storytelling was told throughout the zone. I'm glad that they brought the pumpkins back. I love the classic vintage like Halloween vibes that you would get just walking through it. And overall, I mean, even at the end of the zone in the little space that they have before in front of the SpongeBob store, the stage set up with the house and the show that they do, and then the little off-centered little scare hut that you walk through. I mean, it was just, this is what I like to see in Scare Zones.
Yeah. Yep. Seamus, you're number one.
Sounds like we're gonna have a theme here. My number one is also Cat
Yay.
Lady of Crooked Lane. I kind of knew this one was gonna be good. I didn't have it. I think my number two on my hype list, but I think where we were all kind of along the same thought process was that it was gonna come down to these two scare zones between Masquerade and Cat Lady. But Cat Lady just did so much. It did so many things right. It wasn't just that it was in the best area of the park for a scare zone. It was that they really did go kind of all out with it. Both the costuming, the lead up to the final set piece, the show element, the little mini house thing that they had going on, all of the different unique characters and monsters within that scare zone. I just think it worked so well. It was really, really, really well thought out. And I hope that it becomes a house at some point, because I think that it is one of the few that really deserve something else done with. Like I hope it just doesn't. We don't have a situation where we just never see it again, or it takes them years to see something else with it. I really do think it was that good, and it deserves more time to shine.
Yeah. Yep. So number one, no surprise, Cat Lady of Crooked Lane. There's really not much I can add to that as well. Sorry, I got Daisy on my lap and she's not liking sitting down here anymore.
Oh, jeez.
I picked her up. She looked so sad. So yeah, no, I thought that the way the story was told was really nice. Coming off of something like Mutations, where the story was a little tricky. The Cat Lady was very in your face. You start at the front, you get the trick-or-treaters, then you get the little hybrid people, and then you get the full-on cats, and then you get the Cat Lady herself, with a little show element. And I like that the show had a pretty quick reset. You didn't have to stand around for hours and wait for it. It seemed like a constant. I don't know what the timing on it was, but it seemed fairly quick. So I liked that. The banners were a nice little touch, kind of explaining the story
Love
in
that.
a classic Halloween tale way. The little cats were so interactive. They'd always come.
Oh my
try to
gosh, they were so
scratch at
fun.
you and just meow.
I miss them
meow, and just-
already.
There's always something. That little bonus boo hallway was did it a couple times. Nothing to necessarily write home about, but just that little addition, just it made so much sense. It's perfect. It was very fitting. This is obviously, like you both mentioned, I think this is the most ready to be called up. If this was a minor league player in AA or AAA, this is the one that would be getting the September call-ups. This is not the one that's going to be put back down to AA or single A and left to fend for themselves in the minors. This is going to come back in a big way, I think. I don't know when or how, but I just it's too fleshed out of a of a zone to just do away with. It seems like they put a tremendous amount of thought and effort into not just the story, but the costuming, the set pieces, everything. It's far and above what they typically do for zones. So that shows me they thought this was a home run. So that's what I think about that house. So, or the future of that house could be. So yeah, so that is our zones and street experiences. Now I know up front, I promised we were going to talk about everything. However, we talked a lot about other stuff. And I really don't want to zip through the houses. I want to give them the time and respect and effort that they deserve. I don't want to record a 3-hour episode right now, to be completely...
As much as you guys would like us to see us do that.
To be completely open. This room is very hot. Daisy was wandering around, so I think she wants some attention. And we've abandoned them for Horror Night season. So I think we have to put some dog time in.
My house is loud as shit, too, so I'm sorry for all the background noise tonight, everybody.
But also, I want to, like I said, I want to be able to kind of collect my thoughts on these houses maybe a little bit more and not give you a rushed version, which is, if we did the top 10 right now, it would be. And I think this year is good enough. I think this year warrants a large discussion point. And I think that was fair for us to do up front. So I think we're going to unfortunately call it, this will be our part 1.
The appetizer.
This will be part 1 of our final thoughts of this year. Part 2 will be coming. And I did have a little footnote that I did want to add. We talked at the front about how we gained a lot of traction this year. And I hope you continue. If you just found us this year, I hope you continue with us through the whole year, because we do go through the whole year. And just to kind of peel the curtain back a little bit, we have a lot of really cool stuff. Other than next week, obviously being our part 2 houses. All right. Okay, Daisy, relax for a second. We're almost done here. She's getting antsy. We also do our annual award show. So that's always a really fun one I'm looking forward to. And by us doing the houses next week, that gives me another week to kind of produce that, get that all set up for us. So it's a really nice, efficient show. We also have our way too early 35 predictions. That always comes out as soon as we kind of wrap up, put a little bow on the season with our award show. We jump right into 35. And then I had an idea for a big mega episode that we'll do at some point in this off season. Jamie and Seamus do not know about this one yet.
This is news to me.
But I think it'll be a fun off season episode. So we'll do that. Also, Shudder Sundays. You obviously are aware, or maybe you aren't aware. Maybe you're just tuning in now. We used to do a series called Shudder Sundays. We talked about a movie that was on Shudder. Came out on Sundays. Pretty self-explanatory. But we're kind of reworking that. We talked about that on a previous episode. We're going to turn it off during the HHN season because it just got to be too much. But we have a really cool thing in the works that we're going to be doing. And just to peel it back a little bit more, we are going to be filming these at the Spook-Easy. I don't know if that's going to be the name of it, but essentially going to be 2 of us rotating in and out. We're going to be talking about a horror movie similar to Shudder Sundays, but we're not going to limit ourselves to Shudder. We're going to talk about stuff that's on any streaming service, any theaters. Honestly, probably a lot from Tubi, because Tubi's free,
Tubi's
so anybody can watch
everything.
And they have a lot.
Yeah.
So that way you can watch the movies, because that was a big thing that I talked to people about, saying, I've listened to a couple Shudder Sundays and I like them, but I don't have Shudder, so I haven't seen a lot of these movies. I think it'll be fun to talk about movies that more people have seen. So this opens the door for us to do so. So I'm really, really excited to get the Spook-Easy, try to open those doors and let the guests in. But that's what we got going for us for that. Let me put Daisy down real quick and somebody can say anything.
Yeah. So this was Nick finally announcing his new idea, and again, cannot take credit for any of this. This was all his creative little mind thinking of this Spook-Easy for our new and improved Shudder Sundays. I'm really looking forward to it, because as much as I love talking about horror nights, I also am very passionate about talking about horror movies, whether if you like them or not. I usually like them all. And if you don't like them, I'd still probably like them. But I think it'll be very fun that we're going to be able to incorporate a lot more variety in our movies, and that you guys will be able to watch them too, especially since like Tubi, and if you already have some of these other streaming services. And we'll probably obviously rotate picks on what we watch and whatnot, but be prepared that I'm going to hopefully make them at one point talk about Donnie Darko or It Follows. I know they've talked about It Follows in the past, but I've been waiting for it. So
yeah, now we'll do that.
Yeah.
And I think I think to at least get started, it'll be sort of a bi-weekly thing instead of a weekly every Sunday. I think we might switch it up to maybe just do like every other Sunday until we figure out how we want to run it and get it, in motion. But yeah, that's really all I have. I had one little thing to talk about, but I guess I can push it for next week because it was something related to the houses. So we'll talk about that next week as a little a little Easter egg, little last night closing night Easter eggs that they sneak into these houses, because that's going to kind of bleed into our speculation season a little bit. But I think that is really all we have. Yeah, man. I mean, what a season. I mean, the season's so good. It's going to take us 2 episodes to talk about. That's for sure. But yeah, that's really all I got. Does anybody else have any final thoughts before we jump on out of here?
I mean,
Nope.
yeah.
No, go ahead, Jamie.
No,
You
I
got
was
something to say.
no, I was just gonna. Not too much. I was just gonna say again. It was so nice getting to hang out with everyone and meeting new friends, making new friends, seeing old faces, whatever
Yeah.
the saying goes, and the generosity from our said friends and gifts and whatnot, and just spending time with us just means a lot too. So I'm really, really, I mean, we'll talk about it maybe a little bit more when we do our house rankings, but this year was just so special to me in so many ways, and I'm very much going to miss it.
Yeah. Yep. Well, save those tissues because we got another week of talking about it.
Woo!
Alrighty. Well, until next time, this is Nick.
And this is Seamus.
This is Jamie.
Happy haunts. Thank you for listening to another episode of Fear and Beer, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. If you like what you heard, don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on whatever streaming platform you are listening to us on. You can find us on all of our socials at Fear and Beer Pod.